Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm John Gray, and we're just plain living here.
Is this a hold-up?
This is a hold-up.
Good morning.
I'm coming in from the Wild West because it's country show.
Yeah,
Country
it's
show
almost
week.
on.
South Jackson goes country, and I got me a new hat. What do you think about the hat, girl?
I'm loving that hat. It has some special meaning, doesn't it? Or
Well, I
where's
wanted
it
one. I
from?
wanted one of these for a long time. This is the type of hat that Tom Mix
Right.
and the early cowboys that
cowboys.
you would see in the movies and on television used to wear this particular type of hat that sloped down in the front like this,
Yeah.
with a wider brim. And I've always wanted one, and I just never could find one when I could afford one.
So where did you find it?
I found this hat on Orvis. The last straw hat I bought from Orvis, and that's a online site. You can't find hats anywhere,
Right.
except you have to be in a big city to find a hat.
find a really
And
good
the
hat.
last time I found a hat at a reasonably local store, it was at McPherson's on the other side of Nashville. That's like Clyde Phillips used to be, that type of store. A lot of the same stuff, that we carried at Clyde Phillips and McPherson's carried. I thought that maybe in Murfreesboro, with all the lawyers downtown, and
That you could
there
surely
would
find
be a
a
nice
hat.
men's store downtown with hats. Nope,
It's
can't
hard
do
to
it.
find a nice ladies' store or a nice men's store downtown anymore.
I'll tell you what, Betty Blue Harris, who used to have the silk
Yeah.
purse, which we didn't realize when that was happening how special that was.
Oh yeah.
And I'm a friend with her on Facebook, and she has been posting some of her old newspaper ads.
Yeah.
And she went to New York and bought it out of the New York market. And there was Amy Vanderbilt had a line of clothes, and all of these Papagallo.
Oh,
And that was a
yeah.
raincoat that she had, and she said, it was $80 back then, which is equivalent to about $600 today.
now, I know.
But they were all pencil drawn, and the advertising is just beautiful. And I really do want to thank Betty for posting that stuff and giving us a little
Link to class.
little bit of class that
Yeah.
we had years ago, and we just don't have those kind of stores in small towns anymore.
I know, it makes me sad.
Sad.
Tina Michelle tries her best to
Yeah,
fill that
she
gap.
does a good job
And
there.
it's a challenge, and again, with the pandemic and everything, she had to close down, and
But,
people have to close down.
We were talking about Clyde Phillips, and I want to take this moment to give my regrets to the Phillips family. Jimmy Phillips passed away
I know.
this last week, and
Tragic.
Great man, great friend. I went to work for his father, Mr. Clyde, when I was 14 years old with a damp rag mopping
Did you?
shirt bags. That's when every
And
shirt
that's
was
where
in a
you learn
bag.
to have some class about
Oh
your
yeah,
dress.
yeah. I learned how to
He
dress
always
and
had
learned how to
fabulous clothes.
iron shirts because they all went to the laundry and I couldn't afford it, so I had to mix my own starch and learn how to iron.
I love Jimmy Phillips. When my first teaching job in Manchester, and I guess I wasn't the greatest teacher in the world, but
I bet you were.
I was pretty good.
What did you teach?
Music.
Well, okay.
Which is all
Well, then I know you
Yeah.
were.
But Jimmy was in one of my classes. I think he must have been 8th grade then, and I have such beautiful memories of what a nice young man he was.
You said he stole your car one
Yeah,
time?
he did steal my car. I had left the key in it, and I don't even know, I might have left it running, and I forgot what the situation was, but he got in the car and drove it around the block, and when I came out to get the car, it was gone, not for long, but it's a
Did
good,
he bring it back?
He brought it back.
Well, then
yeah.
he didn't steal it. He just
He
took a
didn't steal it,
ride.
He just took a ride around the block.
As an 8th grader?
Yes.
I love it. I love it. No, Jimmy was a wonderful man,
Yes, he was.
and Jimmy did a lot of very, very good things for this community. He was on a lot of boards. He was on bank boards and president of the Chamber of Commerce, and he was just a mover and a shaker. And one thing we need to remember about life, very important fact about life is no single thing you do in life should define your life.
I agree.
Your life is made up
Thank
of
goodness.
many things.
Yeah.
And
I agree with
you need to weigh it all before you start making decisions on someone's
but don't
life.
I get up every day of my life saying, today is a new
Yeah.
chance,
Yeah.
a new opportunity. I don't ever get up pessimistic. I get up
Me
with
too.
optimism.
And that's hard. That's hard sometimes because we all go through struggles, and some people deal with it in some ways and some in the other. And I know and pray, hope and pray, and know that Jimmy has found peace, and
I pray for
I
his
hope
family.
that all of his family finds peace as well. It's all you can ask for.
Exactly.
You know, so but great memories at Clyde Phillips Men's Shop and Jimmy and Mr. Clyde and Leota and all of Miss Simmons and Tyke Willis, and there's I could name the people who came
know
through
that-
there working, young people.
We just don't have any more a place you can go and get it tailored and make sure it
No.
fits exactly perfect. And
And then when you
That's what
lose
they
weight,
did.
they'll take it up. You
Yeah.
gain weight, they'll let it out.
I know.
But there was no mall. I mean, everything at that point in Tullahoma, everything was around downtown Tullahoma.
Right.
And Christmas time, people would be walking the streets just like New York City.
Yeah.
You know, you'd look out there and there would be people walking up and down the sidewalks and going around to
I think it was-
all the different stores.
It was still that way when I first moved
Uh-huh.
here in '72. I think that's when Ralph got out of the Air Force, and it was a busy little town.
Right. Oh yeah, it was great. It was great. And one of the things we used to do is for the rookies.
What's that?
And Pat Pack will remember this, Francis P.P. Pack. Mr. Phillips was he wasn't a miser, he was frugal. And
Well, he was
when you
also
made, we
very
had a bow
smart,
machine
yeah.
and we made our own bows.
Yeah.
And you got 7 turns on the crank. That was enough turns for the bow.
To make are you talking about a bow tie?
No, a bow like you stick on a package
Oh.
at Christmas time.
Oh, a Christmas bow.
Christmas
Okay.
bow.
All right.
You know, 10 turns made a beautiful bow. 7 turns was enough for a bow. Because you 10 turns there was that much more ribbon got used.
So did the
And the paper, if you tore too much paper, he didn't like that
He didn't
either.
like it,
The
yeah.
paper needed to lap over this much. Well, every now and then somebody tear some short, and so we would take the rookie. One of us would do it on purpose. Take the rookie and say, "Hey, Pat, run over to H&W and get the paper stretcher."
Oh.
And there they'd go. And of course, when they'd get to H&W for the paper stretcher, they'd send them around to Clayton's, and Clayton's would send them to Couch's, and
Oh, my
Couch's would
gosh.
send them on the other side of town to
And so they spent all that time
Silk
looking
Purse.
for a paper.
And they'd run all over town looking for the paper
Yeah.
stretcher. And finally, when they'd come back in the door, they'd be madder than hell.
Sure they would.
Because they
There wasn't
finally
no-
figured it out after about the 4th store. Paper stretcher?
Yeah.
There is no, you can't stretch paper.
Right.
So we had all kinds of fun downtown, and that's the side of Jim Phillips that I'm going to remember, all the great things he did and all the fun we had in downtown Tullahoma, which is getting a revitalization right now.
Oh, yeah.
We're doing a lot of neat new things.
I'm so proud of Florence Hall.
Yeah.
Because of all the generations, 120 years, it is fabulous. I think Couch's was in
Couch's
business
is
that
at
long.
126 years right now, and that property has been sold, as most everybody knows
Right.
now, and we're in the process of liquidating the stock inside that business. And
no
you know,
easy
I mean, hey,
process,
there
yeah.
comes a time.
There comes a time.
Johnny Perry
okay.
sold a baseball company. Steve Ennis and the Ennis family sold Coca-Cola. Best I know, a lot of these big businesses, there just comes a time when it's time to let
move on,
go.
let it go, and
I'm
let a new
real proud
generation
of
come in.
Cameron Newton and his partners, because they will take that property and with young strength and energy
Right.
and proper financing, they'll be able to regenerate and take that building and that family name into the future
And carry them.
in a way that we probably can't do.
I know. We have a guest
We
in the
do,
audience.
all the way
Mary Jane Butler
all
is
the way
here.
from around the world.
I know.
She comes every year.
That's a long way here.
She's been part of the country show for how long, Mary Jane?
12 years.
12 years, and
12
she
years.
moved from here out to Washington
Near Tacoma.
and near Tacoma, and she flies in every year to
I
do the
know,
country
and
show.
she's staying
And you're a
at-
great host to allow her to come to your house.
Well, I enjoy having her.
She's a good buddy.
person. Yeah.
Hey, the reason about the mask, among others, is we're going to have some announcements about South Jackson Goes Country and how that's going to operate this year.
Right.
Greg and Samantha will be here later on in the show. But I want to read this again. It hadn't been that long since I did it, but it's still viable. An Afghan Ahmed asked the bartender Ed for another ale. A Russian Rasha passed out in her vodka is going to feel like hell. A Greek greets a giddy girl as she graces his glance with a grin. A Spaniard savors his sausage soup and a stein of suds, while Paul from Peru hoists a few pints with his buds. The rabbi roars, "Bartender, one more round for us all," even that frisky fat friar down by the fire down the hall. A Scot blows his pipes for the loss of his wife to an Irish prick named Phil as the innkeeper searches for the Frenchman who skipped out on his bill. A British cat is having a chat with a Swede slurping stew as some Muslims mingle modestly with curry-scented smiles. The roads outside the tavern are empty for miles and miles. Americans, Germans, Japanese, and many more that roam found this safe sanctuary when they couldn't go back home. A crazy cluster of characters like I've never seen before. It's funny how we can all get along when a wolf is at the door.
Good job.
Folks, the wolf's still at the door. Wear a mask when you go out in public, not just for your protection, but the protection of those that are around you. We'll be right back with these messages after these messages. None of them probably will be as important as this, but they're from our sponsors, and we appreciate them as well. See you in a minute.
My great-grandfather started it in 1900, and now it's 2020, which is 120 years. We still measure your feet, still try to help you find a good fit. We're just a good old-fashioned shoe store where we'll measure your feet, make sure you're in the right size, and help you find a comfortable shoe for men, women, and children.
We're gonna fit your style. We're gonna make you smile. Service and quality at Clayton Shoe Store. We're gonna fit your style.
Ah, the glory days. Running to daylight on the gridiron and chasing a ball with a mind of its own. Cheering the team to victory and marching to the beat of your own drum. Memories that last a lifetime. But sometimes we're reminded of our glory days in ways we'd rather forget. Get back in the game. The rehab team at Life Care Center of Tullahoma is ready to help you live and play well.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
Talking history about this and that. It's conversations with John and Pat. With John and Pat. With John and Pat.
Hello, everyone. I'm John Rickman, and this is Pat Welch. And John, we're here for segment 56 of the Conversation with John and Pat. We're marching right toward 60, and where this ends, I don't know. Sort of like 100 sort of makes me think that's probably enough.
That'd be a great one to.
That's probably enough of us. But
there's probably more than one that thinks that too, John.
in the 60s, I have my own songs, but I grew up on songs. This one was by Ernie Ashworth, and Ernie Ashworth I don't know if he had many other hit songs or not, but this was a pretty good hit called "Talk Back Trembling Lips," and this here it goes. Whoa, talk back trembling lips, shaky legs, don't just stand there. Don't let her know that she's getting through to you. Whoa, talk back trembling lips, burning eyes, don't start crying. Heart, don't let her know that you're breaking into. Every day our love's a battle royal. Darling, seem that fighting's all we do. But if you knew how much I really love you, you'd do things to me you shouldn't do. Oh, talk back trembling lips, shaky legs, don't just stand there. Don't let her know that she's getting through to you. Whoa, talk back trembling lips, shaky legs, don't just stand there. Heart, don't let her know. Heart, don't let her know. Heart, don't let her know that you're breaking into. That's a shortened version.
That is,
that's
John.
good enough.
That's good.
You know, I've learned down through the years, you know, sometimes a song or a segment or a preaching sermon or whatever it might be, you know, if it's shortened, almost anybody can tolerate something, even if they don't care.
Even if it's mediocrity, they can tolerate it if it's short. But that wasn't mediocre, John.
Well, we always try to keep it short. That way you don't get too bored.
Correct. And it's easier for Philip to fix it into their segments, too. Yeah. Well, John.
Ernie Ashworth, by the way, had a tavern over in the edge of Marshall, Murray County. Not when I was growing up, but a little later after the time I was married and so forth. Never went there. Don't want to get that started. Never was there, but he did have a sort of Ernie's place, I think they called it.
Well, we'll go more, and that's a great segue into today's topic. We want to talk a little bit about a group from Chapel Hill that John was a member of, the Monterey's. And I believe this is a predecessor. Here they are. And if y'all notice, the dashing figure on the left is Mr. Rickman.
My brother next to him.
Jimmy Rickman next. Keep going, John.
Commy Hardison, he was from Linville.
Okay.
Mike Wilson and Richard Coleman all the way to the far right.
All right. And then when did Phil Comstock join then us two and him?
1972, that Monterey's picture there, I retired from the rock and roll in 1965, and then Jimmy kept on playing through college, and he went with a lot of different groups, and I didn't start back playing on a stage or anything like that until 1972 when we started us two and him.
Okay. So the Monterey's, put that back up there, Philip, one more time. Yeah, that would have been in '65 or '64 then.
That was '65.
And how long did y'all play together?
Probably from '63 to, and they went on. They got a man to take my place, probably much better. I don't know.
Impossible.
But they played another year or two after that.
All right, and this would be kind of a rockabilly.
No, we were pretty well rock and roll. Jimmy's,
okay.
It's kind of interesting, that mandolin there Jimmy has in his hand had almost like a piano tone to it. You know, he would hit it, and sometimes that high-pitched instrument made it sound a little bit like a piano for some strange reason.
Well, I was going to say there's not the Beatles and Mick Jagger, they have mandolin players, you know, but you're attesting then that it's more of a rock.
You know, Jimmy would do on his mandolin, he would do things like Yellowbird and all those little, you know, where there's a, I don't know how they do it. It's a fluttering type of move on a mandolin that Jimmy could do well.
Well, there's no question that y'all cut those white coats and those black ties, awful dashing figures, and I know you sent women all over Marshall County into absolute frenzy at times. All right, well, let's get to the real.
I guess we wish.
The real crux of today's. Now here's a picture of the Monterey's practicing.
And we were in a cabin. We'd call him the manager of our group, W.T. Wilson. He was Mike's father, the one second to the right.
John,
father.
is that you on the far right showing off those guns with that
I guess
sleeveless?
I am.
Yeah,
I guess I
wife
am.
beater shirt, I think.
Bass guitar upside down, and that must have been an earlier picture because I went to Gibson bass guitar later. But that old cabin still stands, but not where it was. It's moved out into the country, into an area. My brother took a shot at it the other day. That's where we practiced.
Well, the story we want to tell today is, and I can remember this, and I'm sure people my age and those somewhat older can remember it. But the Nashville Tennessean, well, Nashville was a lot smaller town than it certainly is now. They had a talent contest in the summers, and they had about, John, correct me, I think 5 or 6 kind of semifinals or
they probably had
sessions.
a dozen all year,
Okay.
all summer long. They would have.
And that was
winners.
to find the finalists.
Yeah.
For the finalists, and just to get in the finals was a big deal. And I feel like, and you correct me, I'm doing most of the stuff here today, so John doesn't feel like he's bragging.
I won't be humble.
That's right. That's right. If I ask you the question, it'll be easier to get it out of you. From what I can remember, most of those winners would have been Isaac Litton students or West End or
Hume
Vanderbilt, Hume Fogg. Yeah, they were a little bit what Marshall County, especially the Chapel Hill boys, would have thought a little bit uppity, and most people would have thought the Monterey's touting from Chapel Hill would not have been
By the way, the
ideal.
Monterey name came from a Monterey car, a Mercury Monterey car. That's a good name for a group.
Yeah. Especially much riding around going through that trestle as y'all did. But the Monterey's won their opening competition in the summer, and then they had the finals.
Yeah.
And those finals were extremely well attended, and Philip put that up there. There's thousands of people there, as you can see the back of the Monterey's, and Philip was kind enough.
That was Centennial Park.
Centennial Park near the Parthenon, but they had their own band shell.
Yeah.
This was a big deal.
Big deal.
And I purposely didn't put another picture that spanned from the back because on the front row there was a pile of girls lined up there that looked like they were kind of in adoration,
Those
John.
were the days, my friend.
We wish they never ended. But the Monterey's won this overall competition.
Yeah.
And
I remember when we were named, the results came in to the winners, and they announced 5th place, 4th place, 3rd place, 2nd place, and I looked at Jimmy and said, "Darn, we didn't even place, Jimmy."
And they
called out our name.
That's right. And they called out your name, and they were the grand prize winner.
Yeah.
Now, and this is a big deal. Now, Philip, let's put up there. There's a picture of him with the trophy, and if you'll notice the real shock that people would have had that paper with it down there, the Chapel Hill lads' top discovery. Well, that wasn't expected. That was a fine accomplishment.
That fella in the middle, between Mike and Tommy in the back, that was Lightning Chance. And as we were on the Ralph Emery show, we got to meet Lightning again.
Huh?
He was a good fellow.
He was a regular on the Ralph.
He was a
Emery
regular
show,
on the
right?
Ralph Emery show, and he always talked about being married to a nurse, and they called her Miss Goodbody.
Did she have that high hair? Put one more time, Philip, with that picture. That lady on the left has that big hair, I guess, was how we determine. Refer to it now.
Everybody's
That was
fighting
pretty.
to get close to her.
Oh, yeah.
I won out.
Oh yeah. Well, from what I understand, she requested you to go with her.
Not true.
Now the Monterey's, John. Before we close out, we want to have a confession time. Take that off where we can make sure we can look him in the eye. Don't be blinking.
I've got a habit of that. I noticed watching a segment recently. I got to quit that.
Y'all had plenty of sessions other than this competition. Did we y'all had just been in high school. You stayed away from the honky tonks, I would hope. And was there any place venue you were at that your mother would not have wanted to know about?
Only probably the NCO club out here at Tullahoma, AEDC, might have been the nearest
That'd
thing.
been the closest
No, I'm
thing.
kidding about that. We did play there often. We played there often. We played armories, National Guard armories. We played parties. We under the shelters at Horton Park. They were Horton was starting up back at that time, and we had a good time. It was fun. But the thing I didn't like about it, and most people that know me real closely, they know that I'm not a night owl, And those late hours, I mean, we'd stop playing music at 1 o'clock in the morning, and then we ate a bite and then came home and wouldn't get into bed.
Well, let's go into the next part of that. Is that the real problem now to our viewership is that John lived on a farm, and they had responsibilities that were not going. The Monterey participation was not going to reflect. Was not going to stop it.
The rest of them could sleep on up in the day, but Jimmy and I, we had farm chores to do.
And when they went home before they went to bed, they milked. And
Daddy,
I guarantee that you all have got to be the only Nashville, Tennessean talent contest winner that after you were awarded that trophy and had lightning stand behind you that had to go home and milk.
A fellow in Franklin County told me, and I tell you who told me, Larry Smith. He used to milk cows. Larry's a Tullahoma boy.
Great athlete.
Yeah, he was. And Larry was milking cows, and he said, John, this is worse than being in prison and milking cows. I said, why, Larry? And he said, well, in prison you get out for good behavior sometimes. But you were tied there two times a day, morning and night, and so it was tough.
And the Monterey sessions, we're not going to interrupt that. John, that pretty well wraps up session 56. The discussions with John and Pat and management allows us, we've had other stories to come.
Yes, sir.
Thank you all.
Talking history about this and that. It's conversations with John and Pat. With John and Pat. With John and Pat.
Ah, the glory days. Running to daylight on the gridiron and chasing a ball with a mind of its own. Cheering the team to victory and marching to the beat of your own drum. Memories that last a lifetime. But sometimes we're reminded of our glory days in ways we'd rather forget. Get back in the game.
The rehab team at Life Care Center of Tullahoma is ready to help you live and play well.
Is this the year you want to get fit? If so, check out just some of the things Tullahoma Parks and Rec has to offer. Kickboxing, aerobics, silver sneakers workouts, swim lessons, boot camp, water aerobics, basketball, Zumba, yoga, pickleball, lap swimming, treadmill, karate. Get fit, Tullahoma, and have some fun with Tullahoma Parks and Rec.
Hello everyone, Governor Bill Lee. The 2020 census is underway and more than 60% of Tennesseans have already been counted. I want to encourage every household that hasn't yet responded to the census to do so now. An accurate census will bring more of our federal tax dollars back to Tennessee communities to support services that we all like health care, education, roads, and so much more. Log on to 2020census.gov to answer some simple questions about the people living in your home. You can also respond by phone or mail in your questionnaire. It should only take a few minutes and can mean so much for your family and your community. Help shape the future of Tennessee by responding to the 2020 census today.
It's not invoice. It's not MSRP. It's not Christmas Day, although it may feel like it. It's the lowest prices in Middle Tennessee, period. It's a Stan McNabb Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram or Stan McNabb Chevrolet Buick GMC Cadillac before these prices are gone forever.
How long has it been since you raced a cheetah? Are your tornado creating skills getting rusty? Tired of being the only one in your neighborhood who hasn't built a dinosaur? Sounds like it's time to visit the Hands-On Science Center. The Hands-On Science Center is an indoor science playground. In this museum, please touch is the rule. Join us for weekly science demonstrations on space, lasers, lizards, rocks, and a whole lot more. No two visits are ever the same, so visit often to see our ever-changing exhibits and demonstrations. The Hands-On Science Center, 101 Mitchell Boulevard in Tullahoma.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back, and we had a election this past week, and it was a hard-fought race by a whole lot of great candidates, and we're going to do a little bit of election results for you right now, and we'll find out, if you don't already know, who the new elected officials in Tullahoma are.
Daniel Berry leads in the mayor's race, 734 over Ray Noes at 629. Carl Smithson, 95 in write-in votes, 286. In the alderman's race, Robin Dunn leads that with 1168. Robin is the incumbent in this race. And Jenna Armarker with 1,055. Securing that other seat, it looks like. It's been like that all night long, Kelly.
It sure has.
In the school board, Kim Hosselton leads with 1190, followed by Amy Rogers Dodson with 1133, and Patrick Welch with 957, and Gigi Robinson with 837. So Gigi Robinson still trailing here. There are 3 seats available here.
Now, we're talking, of course, tonight, we're keeping an eye on who's going to be our next mayor, and it's good to know our current mayor is watching with us tonight. He gave us a text and let us know about when those confirmations of the votes and the swearing in would happen. Jim, why don't you tell us what the answer to that question was?
It was nice enough of Mayor Curley to when we were discussing a moment ago when the mayoral candidates and the alderman got sworn in, and of course he knew that.
Of course he did.
And he says that the election is certified on August the 20th, and they will be sworn in on August 24th. So
there you go.
It is going to be a couple of weeks then, actually.
So August 24th, we will see our new mayor, who, of course, right now looks very, very likely to be Daniel Berry. But again, there was a very, very large early voting turnout that just makes it hard to call.
We're looking at
now it's completely on the other side, so something was keyed in. Yeah, we're going to keep confirming that. It looks like we got a call coming in, because now Ray Noes went completely the other way in early voting, and it becomes a landslide for him at 1,202.
Yeah, unbelievable.
So we're doing a little bit of double checking now. Those are good. Those are good. So now let's take a look at those current totals, because that really did switch the... Now, for the alderman's race, Robin Dunn soundly takes the lead in early voting, 1824, followed by Jenna Almacher at 1316, and Ashley Shockley once again trailing. And considering this is the last number we were looking for, that's going to be trailing in the final total counts as well. School board. We are going to look at Kim Usselton taking the lead there, and that's by a couple hundred votes, 1791 for Kim, and even 1500 for Amy Rogers Dodson. Pat Welsh really, really close there at 1506, and then, of course, there was one more I didn't read. Gigi was behind. Oh, these are the finals. Here we go. Going to call it. Look at that all night. Daniel Berry in the lead. We had a mistype in those early votings that made it look like he had it, and then there you go. We got the right number in, and Ray Noes pulls it out in the last seconds. Again, this will be certified on August 20, but right now there's no reason to believe that's not the result, that we've got Ray Noes, the next mayor of Tullahoma, followed closely by Daniel Berry in what's got to be a very sad defeat right there in the final moments as we got those early voting totals in. Now, of course, in every other race, it's pretty much what you expected all night long. We've got Jenna Almacher and Robin Dunn. Robin Dunn, the vote leader at 2992. Jenna Almacher, 2371. Those are your Tullahoma aldermen, one of whom will One will be taking, Robin Dunn is staying in her own seat. The other
Right.
one is taking Mr. Mathis's
Mathis's seat,
I was about to say they'd be taking Ray Noes's, but that's not how it worked, and we've already covered that.
Right.
In the school board, just as you've seen all night, Kim Usselton is the vote leader, 2981, followed by Amy Rogers Dodson at 2633, and J. Patrick Welsh at 2463, leaving Gigi Robison unseated on the school board this time out as Amy Rogers takes her seat. And of course, Sid Hill will stay right where he is, but look at that, 3,307 votes in his favor in votes that weren't even required. So good for him.
Unbelievable, yeah, what a finish. And, you know, we saw that in the votes that were cast at the polls today, all night long, Daniel Berry winning here.
Right.
Not by a huge margin. It was pretty close all the way through there. But then all of a sudden, when those early votes come in,
Noah's supporters voted early.
they
There
voted
you go.
earlier.
There's no reason. That's it. Mayor Ray Noes, congratulations to you. Thank you, former Mayor Lane Curley, for all of your 31 years of service to our community. We appreciate you tuning in as well tonight and letting us know when those votes will be certified. And Noes and all the other winners we named tonight will be sworn in on the 24th.
All right. And, you know, Mayor Curley, if when you don't have anything to do, when, you know, I can't see you getting a real job, but if you don't have anything to do, we'll always be happy to have you as a consultant on our TV broadcasts of future elections and that kind of thing. To all the candidates, however, though,
Absolutely
great job.
love to hear you weigh in for everything.
You have to admire them for putting themselves out there
Absolutely.
and going through this.
Absolutely.
And, you know, we're fortunate to have a great group of candidates who are all very qualified, and you know, a lot of positive things happened in this election. I think out there the city's going to be better off for it.
Hi, I'm Cindy.
And I'm Jacob. I'm the Rooster.
And I'm the Red Maiden. And we would like to welcome you to
Roosterwear.
Yes, Roosterwear is a cottage industry producing accessories for men, women, children, babies, and pets. All items are hand cut and sewn locally. Roosterwear specializes in bow ties, pocket squares, scarves, cufflinks, neckties, and aprons of all sizes for all ages. Baby products include onesies, diaper covers, bibs, and burp pads. All bow ties, tie it yourself or pre-tied, come with an adjustable neckband. All products can be made with a material of your choice, as special orders are available upon request. Don't be standing back looking at fashion. Create your own with Roosterwear.
come visit us at
roosterandredmaiden.com.
to find our handcrafted designs for
The Cock of the Walk.
I want to eat apples and bananas. I need to eat apples and bananas. Why can't I eat apples and bananas?
Support the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks to help provide meals to those in need. Join us at feedingamerica.org.
Since the moment you were born, I've made 1,000 wishes. Wishes for your future in a world that's changing fast. Do play and laugh. Do win and lose. Do it all with confidence, kindness, and strength. And always do your best to remember that no matter what you do in this life, what matters to me is that you keep doing.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
All right. right, ladies and gentlemen, after watching the election results clip over there with Jim over at Light Tube, and we want to thank those people for partnering up with us in a whole lot of things we do together in this town, programming-wise and equipment-wise and people-wise, and we have a good relationship with them. Last night was the last full meeting that Mayor Lane Curley will serve as the prime moderator, and next meeting he will open the meeting, and then the new mayor, Ray Noyes, will have been sworn in and close the meeting. Lane's been involved in elected service to our community and our district for about 31 years, and longest reigning mayor in the history of Tullahoma, and between his being alderman a couple of times, state legislator, and mayor of Tullahoma, he's 31 years plus. He's been in public service representing you and me and all the folks of our community, doing a wonderful job. And he had a farewell speech last night at our city board meeting, and if you didn't get to see that, we want you to see it right now.
After 18 years and presiding at over 430 Board of Mayor and Alderman meetings, this is my last full board meeting of which I will preside. It's hard to believe the next meeting will be my last to walk up the 18 steps to enter this boardroom as your mayor. I will step down at the next meeting as I hand the gavel over to Mr. Noyes. Mr. Noyes, I pledge to you my efforts to ensure a smooth transition, and please know I will be available to you if I can ever be of assistance. A special thank you to our children, Rob and Rosalind. They both literally grew up while their dad was an elected community leader and away many evenings at meetings. I'm pleased to report neither were too negatively affected and lead normal, happy, productive lives. There might have been a few times along the way that proved challenging and a little stressful having their dad as the mayor, but it appears they were not scarred too badly. To my parents, thank you for the use of your good names, as I know that is why I was first elected in 1982. And now a word about Evelyn. We've been married 41 years, and 31 of those years I've been in elected leadership positions. Can you imagine putting up with that? But she has, and not only put up with it, but behind the scenes, an integral part of Tullahoma's success. Evelyn has enhanced my good ideas and single-handedly rejected my bad ideas. She is my constant cheerleader. I'm reminded of the great rock band Chicago's lyrics in the song Just You and Me. She's my love, my life, she's my inspiration. Please do not underestimate her many, many contributions. She also keeps me grounded. When I got home after my first election victory 38 years ago, her comment tonight, when I get home after 18 years of mayor, will be the same. Tomorrow is garbage day. Don't forget to take out the garbage. Because she I'm asked all the time, that was for Evelyn, okay? I'm asked all the time if I will miss being mayor. Yes, of course I will miss being mayor. I love being your mayor and trying to make good things and opportunities happen for the people of Tullahoma. It's been an exciting, challenging, and very rewarding experience. Being mayor has been an integral part of my life, and I often went to sleep thinking about what I needed to do as mayor and would wake up with the same thoughts. It certainly can be all-consuming. I've done my best to lead with a servant leader mindset. I've always tried to be fair, respectful, kind, lead calmly, and set a good example. I've always tried to present Tullahoma in a good light and never embarrass our community. I describe myself as the CEO of Tullahoma, the Chief Encouragement Officer of Tullahoma. It's been rewarding to help design a community where people want to work, live, play, and raise their families. Building a community in which young families want to remain, return, or relocate has always been my goal. It's been an honor and a privilege to work with some excellent public servants over the years. Individuals like Sue, Pat, Wayne, Butch, Kurt, Lee, Tom, JC, Rosemary, Paul, Jason, CB, Richard, Costa, Don, Dan, Catherine, John, Robin, Winston, Debbie, Mary, Joe, Brian, Jana, Chuck, Jody, Jennifer, and Steve. I've seen firsthand over the years what these individuals and their teams do day in and day out, and I'm proud of their hard work and dedication. I also appreciate the work and dedication of the appointed members of our boards and agencies. These are true public servants. Our city government is in very good hands. One of my goals in recent years has been to get more people involved in community leadership, and I'm proud to see the results of that effort. I've also enjoyed introducing a new community initiative each year and challenging our residents to get involved and empowering their action. I hope the Go Green, Arts Council, Get Fit, Sports Council, Tourism, Downtown, and Entrepreneur initiatives not only survive, but thrive under new leadership. I also hope more community initiatives will be added. My goal has always been to position Tullahoma as the city of opportunity and innovation. What will I miss the most? Certainly I will miss the interaction with the young people at their schools. Each year for many years I visited every grade and every school, telling the children encouraging stories, trying to lift them up and encourage them to do their best. I wanted them to know who their mayor is and that he cares about them. Until the pandemic, I would shake hands with every child in every grade every year. That's thousands of little hands over the years. I've also handed out nearly 2,500 what I call official mayor cards to children who have come up to me in stores and restaurants and ball games. Each one not only got a card, but a little written encouragement with their name on the card. I'll miss that interaction. I hope in some small way in some small way have been encouragement to these children. Take your time, Mayor. We're not in any hurry. I got through Evelyn's part. I'm reading fast. It's hard to believe that shy, tall, skinny little red-headed boy that used to ride his bike all over Bel Air school property, later a lifeguard at the old city pool, and a gopher for the DHS baseball team, could grow up to be the longest-serving mayor of Tullahoma. By sharing my story with them, I hope it causes every young person to think, well, if he can grow up to be mayor, anybody can. And they would be right. I've also enjoyed recognizing achievements by our citizens, both young and old. Everybody needs a little pat on the back, and I've always felt by recognizing folks for a job well done, in some small way, it makes them feel special that their achievement did not go unnoticed by their community. As best I can figure, I've worked with approximately 50 different aldermen over the years. Although we didn't and don't always see eye to eye on every issue, I respected each and every one. I've always tried to preside in a professional and a fair way. I also believe each of you did what you thought was in the best interest of the community. I've done my best to make sure every voice is heard. I will always appreciate and have fond memories of these relationships. Through my 31 years of elected community leadership, I've met thousands of Tullahoma residents. I consider each a friend and wish only the best for everyone. Many residents have said some kind things to me over the past several months. I appreciate their encouraging words. Thanks to many people and partners, a great deal has been accomplished over these years. By 3 different measures, we are the #1 micropolitan city in the state. We still believe in excellence in education. Greenways have been extended. We are getting closer to having nearly every resident within 1/2 mile of a fitness opportunity. Splash Island is an incredible asset for the young and young at heart, and the renovation of D.W. Wilson Community Center has been amazing. CD Sam's Community Center is a tremendous asset. We will soon have a state-of-the-art police station. We are strongly positioned as a retail, medical, art, and aviation hub. We offer the fastest internet in the country. We will soon have even more vibrant downtown. We are a very safe community. The city government has an excellent bond rating. Parks have been added and improved. Tullahoma is a more green community. Our airport continues to be a valued asset. I believe more great things are in store for Tullahoma, and I look forward to hearing about many more high points in Tullahoma's future. Tullahoma has been my home for over 60 years and is a very special and unique place. I love our community and the people who live here, and thank you for the wonderful opportunity you've given me to serve as your mayor. It has been a true honor and a labor of love. My overall challenge has been to leave Tullahoma a better place than when I first arrived. I hope I've lived up to your expectations. It's hard for me to believe that since I was first elected alderman at the tender age of 26 in 1982, 31 of my last 38 years have been in elected leadership positions. Alderman for 5 years, member of the Tennessee General Assembly for 8 years, and mayor for 18 years. You are perhaps familiar with Teddy Roosevelt's Man in the Arena quote, part of which reads, "The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is covered by dust and sweat and blood, and who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes up short again and again, because there's no effort without error and shortcoming, but actually strives to do the deeds, who spends himself in a worthy cause." Friends, I've been in the arena for 31 years. It's time for my exit. Thank you.
Partners for Healing provides medical care to the working uninsured of Coffee, Franklin, and Moore counties. We are in Tullahoma from 8 to 5, Monday through Thursdays, and in Manchester on Fridays from 8 to 12. We provide primary medical care and offer an in-house disease management program.
My name is Rosie Mitchell, and I would just like to say I am blessed to have partners in my life.
Please call 455-5014 for more information. Thank you for being one of our Partners for Healing.
Hello, this is Janie Price. When my husband Ray Price would tour across the country, his favorite place to dine was Cracker Barrel Old Country Store locations. His favorite thing to order was the Uncle Herschel.
And the beauty of it all is forever, you'll be holding me to.
I miss Ray dearly, and I'm so proud that his last album, Beauty Is, The Final Sessions, is available at his favorite restaurant.
A love affair.
The project includes a duet with Martina McBride and harmony vocals from Vince Gill. Ray believed this to be the best recording he had ever made.
Oh, I wish I was 18 again.
I think you'll agree when you pick up your copy of Beauty Is, The Final Sessions at a Cracker Barrel Old Country Store location near you or at crackerbarrel.com.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
Hey, folks, we're waiting on our South Jackson people to come in. They're going to be here in just a minute. We've got some exciting news about South Jackson Goes Country that's getting ready to happen, and I'm going to let them talk about that, and you with them. Well, but we want people to realize we have some great music happens up there.
Some great music, and I want to compliment Samantha Terrell Waters because She's the director now. I'm no longer the director, and she has handled it with great pizzazz.
She's done a good job.
She's an amazing young woman, and I'm so proud of her.
But it's a family show.
It's been a challenge this year because of the pandemic, because we practice 2 or 3 people here and then 2 or 3 people there, and we don't have near the amount of people on stage as we've had.
Well, we can't.
But she's handled that really well, and I've loved watching her work.
But as a prelude to the discussion we're going to have with Samantha and Greg, or Peggy is with Samantha and Greg, about some great news, we're going to show you how this is a family show, as once again, my wife and I take the stage.
I love it.
To sing a song, the song that I wrote with my writing partner Tim Daly, who performs at Tootsie's when Nashville's open every day. And it's that you just saw that Ray Price commercial, Affair to Remember. When Tim and I went to Nashville, he went with me to hear the first time for me to hear Ray Price sing the song that I wrote for Fran. That's when we started writing Chicken and Dumplings that day.
And you did. When did you do that? 2 years ago on the show?
I think it has been. Fran and I did it like 2 or 3 years ago.
I loved it.
But it's Fran and this crazy old guy right here singing a song of mine that everybody just seems to like a whole lot, Chicken and Dumplings.
Well, 44 years ago, I guess, in September, to find the right woman. You know, sometimes it doesn't happen that way, but it did for me. And on our 19th wedding anniversary, I wrote a song for her. And 20 years after that, this guy named Ray Price found that song and recorded it on his last album that he ever did, his title cut. And the day that I got to go to Nashville to hear that at Anchordown Records, Anchordown Music on 17th, I had a songwriting buddy that lives in Dixon, and he and I have written a lot of stuff together. Met me over there, and he said, I've got an idea. And I said, what idea is that? And he said, Chicken and Dumplings. Chicken and Dumplings? He said, yeah, we go together like chicken and dumplings. Well, you remember Forrest Gump, that girl that he loved, Jenny? They were like peas and carrots. Well, Fran and I are like chicken and dumplings. So we're going to do chicken and dumplings for you guys. Hit it.
ladies and gentlemen, this is the paint. Uh-oh. I just knocked the tree over. This is the paint doctor. I got the color wheel. Now, you know what a color wheel is? It is the wheel at the Paint Works where you pick all your colors to paint your room. It could be a multicolored beard. It could be a underarm fan. You never can tell. One thing we do know is that it's time to paint. You know, you can make your wife very happy if you go to your house and paint some rooms, or you paint the outside of the house, the inside of the house. It makes them feel very good because you work hard for them and they like that. All women like to see their man sweat, you know? They do. Honeydew is what they do. And you get to do it too. So you go to the Paint Works at 1960 North Washington Street and you see David Heikkinen over there, and he's the real paint doctor. He fix you up with color. It's so nice when the color is right. Go to Paint Works today. Martin Senor. See? Martin Senor. Right there. Martin Senor at the Paint Works. Bye, and we see you next time. I'm burning up.
You know what, guys? There's a lot of tree branches and dry brush over here. We should probably move the bonfire over there.
I'm guessing Smokey liked that idea.
Okay, so what would you bring to my company?
What do you need?
I need problem-solving skills.
I got through high school without a car, a phone, or a computer.
No college degree, though.
Not yet, but life's taught me a lot, and I'm ready for more.
Well, you're not the typical kind of candidate that I hire. But you are exactly what I'm looking for.
Your company could be missing out on the candidates it needs most. Learn how to find a great pool of untapped talent at gradsoflife.org.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
Welcome back. Today's all about country, and I am so delighted. Oh, thank you, John. I'm so delighted to have with me over on the end our new director for South Jackson Goes Country, of whom I'm so proud, Miss Samantha Terrell Waters, and next to her, the chairman of the board at South Jackson. Who but Greg Gressel, who it seems to be able to do everything at once, and it's just amazing. So, where do we start? The show is the 14th, 15th, and 16th of this month, which is like this weekend.
Yes.
Yes.
At South Jackson Civic Center. It's a wonderful opportunity if you're bored sitting at your house for so long, now that we've been through such an interesting year.
It's amazing.
Time for a live production, and it is at half capacity, so we are having little bubbles around you, so you're not next to somebody, but you can enjoy it from your own little bubble in the auditorium if you want to.
Exactly. And Samantha's been a genius at organizing rehearsals in every little corner of the Civic Center while it was being remodeled and repainted and taken care of. And sometimes they're sitting on a pile of bricks, but they go ahead and practice everything. And Greg Gressel, I don't even know how you're still standing.
It's been some interesting days for sure. In the life of South Jackson, lots of incredible things happening and going on and being done, and working with great people like Samantha to try to bring some things back to the stage. It's time.
Time, absolutely.
And we are at half capacity for this performance. This is really our biggest fundraiser of the year, and that means that we're probably at half the funding necessary. So, but we are going at it full forward. We feel like it's time for some live entertainment, and we're excited about that opportunity for you. You can't get tickets the regular way. You normally can go online and purchase tickets and stuff like that. For this show, you will have to call the box office, 455-5321. And you call that office, and they will take care of your tickets for you. Make sure there's nobody beside you, no one in front of you, no one behind you. And just a good opportunity to come and see a show. Masks are and welcome, but not required. And
we have lots of sanitizer.
We have lots of sanitizer stations around the center.
You're
And
spaced out we feel like it's safe. I feel safe when I'm there. And I know that I probably would drop and fall if I get it. But golly, I'm going to get something.
But there could be some that just can't, that can't get out, even join us in that kind of scenario.
And that's an exciting thing that we've decided to do. Are we ready to talk about that?
Yes, I think we are ready to talk about it. We are going to do a live stream feed of the country show. That's Friday night, Saturday night, and Sunday. Those are 3 separate performances. Those are 3 separate feeds. You will be able to go to southjackson.org. That is our website. And from there, right now it just has a little thing up there telling you to come back in a certain amount of time, and the links will be ready. You will be able to go on and purchase a live feed link and watch it from the comfort of your own home with your family. If you're not able to get out and you're not able to be a part of this with us live, you can be live with us at your house.
And it's one price.
One price, $30 to do that.
So you can bring your mama and your daddy and your grandpa and grandma.
They can all sit there in the living room with you and enjoy.
And eat pizza at the same time.
Right.
And this is a big deal for us. I have family that's out of state who can't afford to come and see every production that I'm in. So when we told them about this, they were so excited because they can finally enjoy it with us. This is the 41st year, and this is the first time we've been able to live stream.
It's kind of like
it's exciting.
To me, it's a new generation and a lot of new people. And I don't want to forget Jacqueline Sullinger Painter and Martha Brooke Hood, who are big helpers in this, in helping to produce the entire thing. And but I'm so excited about the fact that, if I don't feel like getting out, I can just turn on the TV and see every one of you guys.
There's lots of circumstances that would keep people away, and so we want to try to offer an opportunity for that. It is definitely a new time.
We do have tickets, and we do encourage people to come and see the show live. Tickets are $20. I think if you buy them this week,
in advance.
before. What's the deadline on advance?
Well, Friday the office, of course, will be open until it closes, and then the box office reopens.
And once we go to the box office, we go to 22.
We'll go to 22.
So,
yes.
I think there's some wonderful people in this show. We have some people that have been working all day trying to get things going, and then they end up on the show at night. And there's some phenomenal new sort of things that Samantha's put together that I'm real pleased with. I smile every time I look at the stage, and those commercials are great.
Well, and I think it's worth saying that we have Mike Sneed coming back as Stroop Man. People love to see him on stage. And Deb Rackley is coming back as Sadie Gruesome. And we have Melissa Sharan coming back as Ernestine. And I know we have great talent. We have singers, we have dancers, actors, the whole bit.
Do we need to?
But those comedians are who folks come back to see every year. And we're excited to have them once again.
And we have a new character this year. Do we want to talk about him?
Yes, we do. So we've had the Fox, who has been our mascot for years.
Right.
But now this year he actually comes to the stage live. We have a live mascot Fox that's going to be running around dancing, fiddling, and it's going to be an exciting time. But he doesn't have a name yet. So would you like to talk about that, Greg?
I think so.
Yes, you can. We've been running some things on social media, but you can go to our website at southjackson.org. You hit the donate button. There is a notes section there, and you can donate any amount of money, $1, $10, $20, and submit a name for the Fox. He's a half fox, half raccoon, and
I call him a foxoon.
Yeah, and so we are going to name him this weekend, and so we are still taking those names in.
And so when is the deadline on name taking?
We're still taking those names in, and we will probably cut that off sometime Wednesday evening. Thursday we'll prepare probably the top 5 names, and then we're going to have jars for people to continue to vote through the Friday and the Saturday show, and at the Sunday show at some point the votes will be tallied and his name will be revealed.
If you're watching us and you have never in your life heard about this mascot, he's never had a name and he's never been publicly introduced to the audience, so that's an exciting new feature.
He's like 3D. He's popping out this year, and you never know where you're going to see him or what he'll be doing next.
I wish we had a picture of him because we have. Maybe you can see this. I don't know. Can you see the fox? It's this little guy in the corner. My son did that many, many years ago. Preparing to go to Baghdad, he left that on my desk. And so that's how he became our mascot.
And we'll be taking pictures with kiddos, so if you want to bring your kiddos and take a picture with our mascot, Fox Coon.
And for the first time in 41 years, I'm going to sit down in a paid-for seat and watch the show.
How does that feel?
It feels great. I feel very secure in what's going on.
Well, there's a lot of people involved, I would say.
We are so blessed that we
Huge.
have people that have been willing to step up and keep this thing going. So.
Well, and none of it would happen. Excuse me. None of it would happen without our sponsors. And our sponsors who have bought ads and who have bought commercial time on the stage and the commercials that we've written. We could not have gotten this far in this endeavor without them because we've been in a pandemic, 5 months of no income.
We didn't know if they had still had income.
Right, and so this has been a very big deal for us, and they have really stepped up and been extremely generous.
Do we have time to name them?
I think so.
I think I'll start with Piggy's Place.
Yes, Piggy's Place Barbecue, and then we have Stroops.
We have Woodard's.
Yes, we have Clayton's. We have Mike Long's Dentistry.
Brown Tree and Stump.
Sundrop.
Sundrop is always
a fun number
there,
that we do. Yes, and we have Tech ER. And then we also have Cheryl's Pest Control.
Right, and
Mike's Tire and Brake. And we have Hometown
Auto Body.
That's
this
a
year,
brand
which
new
is
one.
new.
Yes.
Yes.
Marty Scott. We had fun with that, didn't we?
Yes.
Anyway,
Yes,
you
we did.
just have to be there. We can't hardly tell you what they are because you have to be there to see what's happening.
And Grumpy's. Grumpy's is back with us this year.
Yes, Grumpy's Belmont is back with
the saga of Sadie and Ernestine. You will not want to miss it.
So if you haven't got a ticket, call today or go by the office. Is open today through the week, through Friday.
Yes.
Open 10 until 5, I believe, and you can pick up your tickets. And the important part about calling and letting them know so that they can separate your family from other families. That's what we're trying to be very serious about. And there's so much going on. Anything else we need to add?
I think it's good to say on the Friday and the Saturday on our patio stage, we begin with some fun dancing, some line dancing, some things that you can join in with.
We have barbecue for sale.
We have line dancing and other dancers and singers that are going to be taking place there. And then at the same time, food will be available inside. It's barbecue and concessions, and so we've got plenty of time before the show starts. If you come and participate in that, then on the main stage at 7 o'clock, the warm-up show will begin, and then at 7:30, Act 1 and 2
And at South Jackson Civic Center in Tullahoma, Tennessee. That's our phone number. Give us a call. Thank you all.
Thank you.
I'm so proud you came. We'll be back with more of things.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
morning, good morning. Thank you, John. For a person that don't need an introduction, you do real well. And camera ladies, good morning to y'all. Bless your heart. You're the one that makes it happen and puts it on the screen for everybody to enjoy. It's a lovely day. And you know, that last segment was real good about the Stamp Center. I'd like to add one or two little things about the Stamp Center. And that is that I remember when Coach S.M. Stamps and C.D. Stamps came to Tullahoma from Nebraska. And S.M. was the coach, football coach, and they had a great bunch of players, and their games were good and they were funny. And Coach S.M. Stamps would at halftime would get all his team down one end of the field to give them a little pep talk, but he wouldn't start his pep talk until he had an audience. So half the people in the stands would go down to hear him give the Davidson Academy players a pep talk and tell them about, I know one time that the Davidson Academy was about 50 points ahead of Shelbyville at the half, and Coach Stamp said, I always go to Nashville by Shelbyville, but if y'all don't get out there and play harder, I'm going to have to start going to Nashville by Manchester. He said I'd be so embarrassed. They were great people, and C.D. Stamps was part of a quartet that sang around, and they were really, really great people, and we appreciate their efforts in years past. And a lot of our friends from the Davidson Academy have been lifelong friends and customers and a real wonderful part of this community. So I would encourage everyone that can to go down for the opening of the new C.D. Stamps Center. And Miss Della Stamps, Miss C.D.'s wife, was head of their chorus group and put out such wonderful music. So again, let's support them this week. Kind of jumping from one thing to another, I thought I would share a little history about Tennessee and a little bit about Tullahoma. Tennessee came into the Union, I believe it's the 16th state in 1796, and Tennessee is divided into 3 grand divisions: the Eastern Division, the Middle Division, and the Western Division. The Eastern Division is known mainly for its great, beautiful mountains, the Great Smoky Mountains National Park that brings more visitors than any other national park in the country. The chief cities in the Eastern Division, of course, are Knoxville, where the University of Tennessee is based, and Chattanooga, Tennessee. And coming on down into the plateau is the Middle Tennessee Division, which, of course, Nashville being the capital, and second only to Nashville is the great city of Tullahoma. And the Western Division is west of the Tennessee River on down to Memphis and Jackson being the 2 main cities in that part of the state. And cotton in West Tennessee, and wood in Middle Tennessee, and great coal from East Tennessee. And you know, we have a flag here we'd like to share with you, the Tennessee state flag. And the stars in the center of the flag denote the 3 grand division. I didn't know this thing was this big. It's not this big when it's folded up, is it? And when you ever see a state flag flying from a pole, the single star is supposed to be at the lower part of the flagpole. The 2 stars should be up above them, signifying the 3 grand divisions of Tennessee. Now, Tennessee's wildflower is, what is the wildflower? Somebody help me. You want to be a millionaire? No, the official Tennessee flower is the purple iris. At this time of year, they bloom, and they're golden iris and white iris and pale iris, but the main one is the purple iris, and I think maybe the women of the state selected it to be the main thing. And would you believe that the bug, you know what the official bug is? The ladybug, of course, the little orange bug with the little black dots on it, you know, and they're real friendly, and they don't bite or anything, but they're cute little old bugs. And every state's got, and you know what the official animal of Tennessee is. You think maybe it'd be the bear, the deer, or John Gray, or whatever, you know. But the official animal of the state is the raccoon. And I do not know how it got started, but you remember the late Senator Kefauver, his campaign attire was a coon skin cap. And you know there was a drive in the last year or two when they were trying to find a proper name for the official state football team that are now the Titans. There was an effort to make them name for the official state animal, the raccoons, but they were afraid that maybe when some player was running down the field toward the goal line, why some of the fans might not remember what the raccoon's name was, so they decided not to use that one. But again, let's talk about Middle Tennessee for a minute. Beautiful Middle Tennessee with fishing and lakes and manufacturing and education and all that wonderful thing. And one statistic I think is kind of unique, and that is about Tullahoma, that Tullahoma is the only city or town in the world by that name. And some people say it's called Tullahoma because of the land of the golden flower, or the land of the red dirt. But I prefer the story about the Indian chief who had a little daughter, a princess, that would run down to Big Spring to water her father's horse, and there happened to be an Indian brave that would come down there sometimes about the same time, and the chief forbade his daughter to see the Indian brave, but one day, just by coincidence, they both brought their horses down to Big Spring to water them, and the chief saw his daughter down there talking to the Indian brave, and her name was Tulla, and he said, "Tulla, you go home right now." And I like that story better than any of them. And you know, Tullahoma, by the way, is a railroad town. It was chartered in 1851, and it's where the depot was, and the passenger depot uptown and the 100 block of Atlantic is the highest point elevation-wise between Chicago and Florida. And maybe sometime a passenger train will come back, we can all take a ride. And that's not the end of the story, because there's a whole lot more to come. Thank you for watching and listening, and have a good day, everybody.
Here at Manchester Funeral Home, we know the importance of living and working in our local community, because it's those families who we serve during their time of need honorably. We believe in supporting local business and offer only 100% Batesville caskets, the best in the industry and a driver of our local economy. If you want straightforward and fair pricing while working with the people you know, choose Manchester Funeral Home, serving your community since 1932. And pre-planning and pre-funding can be the best gift you ever leave your loved ones. Call us to pre-arrange. Manchester Funeral Home. Our family caring for your family since 1932.
If you want to be a parent, it doesn't matter how you play, what you wear, how you dance, or even what direction life takes you. You just need to be there. You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care don't need perfection. They just need you.
How long has it been since you raced a cheetah? Are your tornado creating skills getting rusty? Tired of being the only one in your neighborhood who hasn't built a dinosaur? Sounds like it's time to visit the Hands-On Science Center. The Hands-On Science Center is an indoor science playground. In this museum, please touch is the rule. Join us for weekly science demonstrations on space, lasers, lizards, rocks, and a whole lot more. No two visits are ever the same, so visit often to see our ever-changing exhibits and demonstrations. The Hands-On Science Center, 101 Mitchell Boulevard in Tullahoma.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
You know, folks, we're about out of show. Peggy reminded me of this, so to say goodbye, I'm going to read you one thing, and Phillips family, you're in my heart. A cascade of experiences flow over the waterfall of life. No single event along that journey defines your destiny at the conclusion. Bless you.
I've always loved that.
Love y'all. We'll see you next time.